Greetings and salutations. My name is Michael Schwahn, and this was going to be your one-take review of Afterimage, but we're not going to do one. And it's for a myriad of reasons. That is partly what I'm here to explain. So one thing is that Afterimage is an indie Metroidvania game that was funded on Kickstarter. It has beautiful hand-drawn graphics, and I was very excited about it. Especially because I was coming off the back of 9 Years of Shadows, which I did do a review for, and I'll leave a link to it down below the like button. And I gave that game a 10 out of 10. I thought 9 Years of Shadows was fantastic, and after coming from 9 Years of Shadows, I was very hopeful that Afterimage was also going to impress me on the same level that 9 Years of Shadows did. And unfortunately, it didn't. Now, I will say the game looks good, it plays well, and it sounds really good. Beautiful visuals, incredible audio design, lovely soundtrack, and it has really smooth, tight controls. I fucked up a lot because I'm a dumbass, but that's not a problem of the controls, that's a problem of the user. Now, that said, the reason that I'm not finishing it is because I don't know how. And it's not because, I don't know where to go next. The reason that I'm not finishing it is because we put about 12 hours into Afterimage, and I did not enjoy those 12 hours. I have a full page of notes of issues that I was running into, not all of which were gameplay bugs. I did experience one game-breaking gameplay bug, which was where I was unable to jump, which that's a very big problem in a Metroidvania, but it wasn't the problem that I had. The reason that I'm struggling, though, is that I put 12 hours in, and then the day after we put 12 hours in, they patched it and fixed, I would say, about 65% of my complaints in that patch. And so I don't know how to approach it from a critical perspective. I don't really have the time, nor the desire, nor the energy to start over, especially because the beginning of my experience was extremely tainted because of these very massive complaints. To name a few, there was very, very little fast travel in the very beginning of the game. For the first 12 hours, you do not have the ability to move between save points. Your only ability to fast travel is a very limited consumable that you can consume to travel to a save point. And after 10 hours, I think I had only found 3 of these in the entire game, which means trying to go back and check for secrets that you may have missed was just not a very feasible option. Especially because if you teleported, towards the beginning of the map, if you didn't want to have to run all the way back through it, you would then need to spend another consumable to get back to where you were, effectively needing to spend 2 of them. And that was frustrating. Afterimage is also a game that falls very hard into the Metroidvania category, and what I mean by that, it has a very large, expansive map with very little direction in its map, and that map is confusing, to say the least. And they ask you to backtrack a lot, which is largely my biggest complaint when it comes to Metroidvania games. Because I don't like backtracking for the sake of it, because I feel like you're wasting my time and artificially inflating your playtime. And so it wouldn't have been as bad if I would have had access to a more unlimited form of fast travel between the save points, or at least limited save points, which I will say I did find about halfway through the game. But that's so far. That is so far for that to be discovered. In the time since, they have patched that to where you find it right at the beginning of the game. And there's a whole bunch of those. Little adjustments like where you get abilities from. Some of the areas you just stumble into a boss. When you beat the boss, you get an ability and it doesn't feel like it makes sense. And before they patched it, one of the most important abilities for me trying to check off some boxes and explore some areas was sold by a vendor. Now, this ability is so you can bounce on enemies multiple times, okay? You just hit an input and your character will bounce on top of them, which is fine. It's no different than nail hopping in Hollow Knight or whatever. I'm fine with that ability and that concept, but the chef in the starting area is the one that sells it. At the very beginning of the game, there is a vendor that sells you food that also just so happens to have the item that gives you this ability. And when I discovered this, to say that I was furious is a bit of an understatement. I was so close to just turning off the game. I could not believe that that is where you would have put one of those abilities that is integral to navigating your map. I was aghast, to put it mildly. And they fixed that too. Now you get that ability alongside a different ability when you find that ability the first time, which is great. That's perfectly fine. But after putting in 12 hours, I don't know how to approach the rest of this game critically. And admittedly, that 12 hours was so frustrating that I don't have a lot of interest or energy to put towards completing the game to give it a proper review. And because of that, I'm just not going to. I don't feel like I would be able to give it an earnest and honest opinion. And anything that I say, like I've just went over, I don't feel like it'd be applicable to anyone that would be watching the review to judge whether they are interested in the game today. Because what I experienced is not what anyone else is going to experience. I do really wish that I had a better network of content creators, other video game reviewers, maybe people that were more seasoned in the craft than I am, so that I could have asked them how I could have approached this, because I just did not know how, and that's why I'm here and presenting it in this way. So really, I won't be playing many more of Afterimage, and I'm not going to be giving an official review score, and I'm not even going to call this an official review. And that's the most that I can say about it. I don't know what, well, my next review will be Resident Evil 4 Remake, and I do not know exactly what will be the immediate review after that, because I got to figure out a couple things out. Just before this reviewed Final Fantasy 3, I'll leave links to that down below the like button as well. Let me know what your thoughts are, if you have any suggestions on how I could approach this in the future, if it ever comes up again, because I did start playing Afterimage on day 1, and while there were some early patches, the gameplay changes were so significant that it completely invalidates my complaints, so I just don't know how to approach this. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are on how I approached it in this circumstance. I'd love to hear from you. We also have this new camera setup. I mean, it's the same camera, it's just in a different location. If you've seen some of my videos before, let me know if you like this one better or worse, or what you do or don't like about it. Leave all that down in the comments below. I like to talk, and I'd love to talk some more, and if you want to talk with me, I would be so welcome for you to do so. Two great places to do so are Discord and Twitter, and we did record this live on Twitch, and if you want to be in the conversation there, we stream 4 days a week, and I would love to see you there. If you do go watch one of the other videos on the channel, or if I see you in the live stream, thank you, and enjoy.